Hi, my name is Payton Walters, and today we are going to be diving into one of the industry's most beloved locations, Canada, our neighbors to the north, or more specifically, Toronto, Ontario. At the beginning of the year, writer Annalise Larson released a report titled Future-Proofing Canadian Film, Working Towards a Sustainable Future Film Ecosystem funded by Telefilm Canada. The report tackled the challenges and opportunities presented by a brave new world of film production post-pandemic. Telefilm Canada's senior advisor, Elisa Supa, notes that after Larson's earlier report, people wanted the conversation to continue. The Supa states this addresses the anxieties created by the shift brought upon the industry by COVID-19. The report lays out how global streaming companies and studio blockbusters are bouncing back much quicker than independent companies, and how financial pressure is overwhelming indies due to increasing costs. Opportunities highlighted include newfound ability for filmmakers and distributors to identify and reach their audience, as well as the ever-present economic cultural importance of film. The report also says there are opportunities in embracing the previously marginalized Canadian filmmakers. Reimagined ideas and new ways of doing business outside of tradition are vital for improving Canadian film for the future. Canada is specifically affected due to its close proximity to the States, which Larson describes as a false equivalency to the American ecosystem. U.S. production booms allows Canadians to gain experience, but it takes away from their own productions. Canada's generous public funding for films creates a sense of false security. Future-proofing practices proposed in the article include embracing new technologies, creating more Canadian stories, and retaining ownership of intellectual property, as well as tapping into the desire for culture and diversity. As for business and financing, more data and transparency are needed for filmmakers to make better decisions. Moving on, the ongoing buzzing topic of the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes have drastically altered the film industry's year. The strikes halted most U.S. productions shot in Canada and put tens of thousands of local talents and crews out of work. The AFC reports over 500 film and TV workers have tapped into the emergency fund, totaling over $1.2 million in aid taken out since the Writers Guild of America walked out on the job of May 2nd. The need for financial support pending job losses escalated when SAG-AFTRA walked out on July 14th, shuttering more sets and productions. 500 more applicants are in need of financial support looking to the AFC, but the emergency fund is already depleted for the year. People had a steady income and they were paying for a mortgage and they were feeding their kids based on that, but that work is gone now. The AFC is offering $2,000 to people who are more at risk, as well as seminars on how to get temporary work, but that is hardly enough for people to cover rent in cities like Vancouver and Toronto. In an attempt to shed light and ease the struggles of the workers, British Columbia film shows The Good Doctor and Fire Country donated about $20,000 contributed by the show's stars. Furthering the topic of the strikes, the spotlight has been shifted to local filmmakers and Toronto International Film Festival. It is a tough time in the industry and unfortunate timing for TIFF, but opportunity shines through challenges. The chaos in the US is a bittersweet opportunity presented to Canadians and other international filmmakers. Francesca Acanelli states that the situation is a great opportunity for Canada to take advantage of the quietness from the other side of the border. Ontario's film industry professionals believe business will be back. Ontario has not been stopped from looking for eventful resolution for resuming its role as a premium production location for film and TV. The agency Ontario Creates has been working toward getting Americans back into Ontario's sound stages and sets. Karen Thornstone, the agency's CEO, reveals that there is a lot of work going on in the background to make sure that they are ready to welcome Americans back when the time comes. The agency was seeing a booming record in production activity pre-industry shutdown from strikes, and they plan to resume that status post-strikes. Ontario is taking action with new studios and a longer, more skilled workforce trained and ready for high-end filmmaking and environmentally sustainable measures to ensure a quick and effective return to business. In response to the question on whether the strikes have been allowed downtime to infrastructure improvements, Color says the companies have been employing local younger students who are seeking futures in the entertainment industry. This helps fill some of the void left by the strikes and give the students time to prepare for their futures. To ensure returning Americans will have local talent and crews, Ontario offered a program made in partnership with New York University and science-based studios that helped workers and students get production ready. Companies and programs are letting students know what industry jobs are available to them, including year-on jobs and gigs. Ontario Creates is keeping up with demand, making sure those returning post-strikes will have talent and crew ready to service their productions. Thornstone confidently states that there is enough local talent and they have not yet had to turn away a production, and they do not plan to do so. Justin Cutler and his team claim to be building awareness of other jobs in the industry rather than just directing and performing. As a part of the sustainability goal, Ontario has implemented a green screen initiative called Project Green that uses grid-tied map to reduce greenhouse gas emission during production. Cutler states that with 2 productions, they have saved 9.8 million metric tons of material with a value of $33,000 that has been repurposed. They also paired with Second Harvest to rescue food from sets, donating it to local shelters and community organizations. Moving on from the strikes and onto a TIFF detail, stars are asking the festival to drop the Royal Bank of Canada as a sponsor. A letter signed by over 200 film industry professionals, including stars like Mark Ruffalo, asked TIFF to release partnership with one of Canada's biggest banks, RBC. I guess we will see what action, if any, will be taken in the matter. And thank you for tuning in.